Good morning, land of YouTube. Donnie Caustic here, coming to you live, bringing the light. I got one of the repeats from a previous video. These are made by Redline Energy Drink Company, and they have all kinds of fun stuff they come up with, like new fusion and booze and hydration sensation. In any case, osmotality optimized. It's like immortality of osmosis. And then I get to immortality in general. Who wants to be immortal or find the fountain of youth? And do you believe that's possible? Well, I think that there's a alchemist point of view that will be represented in all kinds of different art over the years, or artistic expression. And with that in mind, what do we make of it as a society as a whole, as somebody watching this video in order to, well, obtain something? What would we use alchemy for if the only truly deserved individuals actually find it through a method of self-discovery or predestined fate of being that role already, like going into that role because that's what role we were in. Like we know it when we're little, and then we grow old and forget everything in order to come back. I just got passed, and I feel like that's okay. They're at a faster pace than me, physically. Anyways, so we all sign up for, let's say, a quote-unquote life experience in the flesh. Or do we? Is there such a thing as a soul contract? And then what kind of revocations can take place if we gain power and access to different realms of knowledge and existence? Because mainly spiritual knowledge and power is existence in a different realm of being. Ooh, the coffee. So, if we have our imagination representing something like a spiritual realm and a different plane of existence, and our imagination is very, very powerful, and then we attach the word God, which is something also in the flesh right now, very, very powerful, because God means something different to everybody, right? Say we attach the word physically and chemically in our brain, or alchemically in our brain, to imagination, to where we know without a shadow of a doubt, without one shadow of doubt, that God is imagination. And then you have Einstein's quote, imagination is your greatest strength. So how do you marry that into the present with your active adulthood and other knowledge that you've learned? How would you do that? I challenge everybody to see if they can figure out why or how that would even be an issue, if it is an issue. If it's not an issue and you have no idea what I'm talking about, well, this video is probably not so much for you. I would encourage you to watch something else I'm talking about that may relate to you a little bit more. Because what I'm speaking of are very deep techniques within quote-unquote spirituality. And also scientific, mathematical apply to something like that is the approach I am taking part in. Oh, look at the sun chilling behind me. I love this trail. because of that reverse view when I'm on my path, and it's just, right? I mean, I'm not moving. This is where I keep my hand anyway, right? So, what we're left with, if we dig through all these layers, as I have, I say we because ultimately I am encouraging anyone to dive through layers with me. Just dive headfirst into these quote-unquote layers of reality. And, I guess the important part of that would be not a lot are going to. Not a lot are really going to get to some kind of deepened message state where they can communicate with me on an effective level when I get to certain topics. Now, I say that because there's only been a few individuals I've run into that I could actually express myself fully to, and ultimately we come up with new words and shit. And that's the fun part about life, is as we vibrate at one frequency, we connect with others at that frequency. And the statement would be, birds of a feather flock together. So if you're one breed of bird in the sky, then you're with that flock because it's your species, right? And so you make a left turn at the same time because you're all connected. Well, kind of like a social group here on Earth with humans instead of birds. And what we got like-minded individuals that congregate together. Now, that's not saying that, we are always with like-minded individuals as humans, because, I think I'm stubborn. I like going down a few stairs on the ladder, so to speak, in order to try to drag motherfuckers up that ladder. And I should stop, ultimately, because I'm worth more than this damaging aspect of constantly walking downstairs, so to speak. I need to keep walking upstairs. And then I might get too far from others that I can help. Case in point, what I try to express and talk about on this YouTube platform, most people, I say most because I'm fairly determined to think of at least near a 90% mark of society in general that wouldn't be able to hang with me at a deeper level. In concept-wise, in the construction of my mind and how I create reality with my mind like an architect, not too many folks are there, people. I promise. So I'm not saying that in some kind of grandiose, vague way. I'm just saying that I've gone really fucking deep into myself. And I'm proud of that. And pride like that is okay to have. But it's not an ignorant, self-inflated, ego sense of pride. It's more like a loving expression for me to vent myself to a video. Because I'm acknowledging myself. Now, any great scholar, any great teacher, any great physician, everybody takes credit for their fucking hard work. So I'm not doing a comparison thing. I am making a comparison by pointing out a statistical number that I fabricate. And I say that because in my own little study right here, in my area where there's a lot of bright individuals, I've run into a few. But we ultimately, the few that I have run into, it doesn't make up no 10%. I mean, if it's mirrored, outward, and amplified, I think we are one of the foremost smarter congregated areas in the United States. There's other areas like New York, hotspots like that, where people evolve faster. And, I'm not saying that there's not individuals that are highly evolved for that case. I'm just saying with the, not balance, but the well-roundedness with everything I've studied, it's difficult. But, with me aligned with nature, not a lot of people get to that level of purity when all-consuming knowledge and spirituality and then scientific application with philosophy, psychology, and psychiatry all kind of balled into one, I coined the term spiderwebby string chaos theory. And some would say chaos is not good. And I say when harnessed, chaos is life. Because it's really chaotic to know which two birds are going to live when they're in the field and the cat's hunting them. Or both. Well, we can watch. We could try to observe and say, well, this one's going to live or that one's going to die based on some characteristics. But then, like the cat was just really, really clever and he got the really powerful one that time. So natural selection really doesn't apply when the weaker injured bird that we were rooting for to be eaten on the left didn't get eaten. Now, did the cat know that the bird on the left was fucking weaker and injured and he didn't want to eat that kind of shit in case that bird had a disease and he's going for the yummy meal so he doesn't get sick? Who knows? Maybe. Nature's connected in a way that we're not. I can promise you that. I mean, if you can talk to birds and other things, then, well, I'd like to talk to you because I am connected to nature in a way that most aren't. And I can feel nature in a way that most don't. And I've seen visually energy that most don't. And I look around and it's as if I'm Neo in a fucking Matrix. That'd be bad. Dominatrix. Donin Matrix. Okay, so what I compare it with is walking around and seeing and being able to read source code. Like the source flows through so great that I see it. And I can interpret it and be ahead of things and see different angles and corners. And I see that at angles and corners in my path or in others' paths that I would like to just blurt out and make them aware of, especially if they're right in my line of path. I'm not going out of my way so much now to approach and direct the show with everybody. And that sounds really weird to say that, but as a powerful-minded individual, I have a great responsibility for myself first. That's how I got here. And I also have a great responsibility of knowing that everybody out here in this society structure is in places for a reason for society to exist. Every single layer and every single level. Be it the homeless person that's praying for a meal, and then there's the more righteous, loving person that drives by that gives them the meal. It's all there and all part of the show. If it was not there, what would there be left? Would everybody just be willing to have free love and be out in the open naked and, well, we all plant food and we go back to like some kind of hunter-gatherer days nudely and we just love each other and we're living for humanity, not possessions? Would that be the ultimate dream or the piece of the pie that we end up with as an individual there? How beautiful would that be if we're not really after, world domination by stepping on the backs of other humans to get there? Most are. I've seen it. But then you do good works like that too. And I would say that Elon Musk is a hell of a guy. He's at the forefront of finding out some cool stuff outward. Then we have CERN. CERN's at the forefront of finding out some cool stuff inward, mirroring that of the outward, everything that we do. Then we just walk around as an individual and we have that power within ourselves to look deep inside and then find out something even more golden. Trust me, it's a real thing, people. And you can research it if you find the right breadcrumbs. And over the years with these videos that I will be making, there will be plenty of breadcrumbs. So if I've piqued your curiosity and your informational database in your brain is craving more, pay attention to what I say. And with that payment, it is a currency change of attention being your currency exchanged for information. So your payment of attention is the currency for the information transfer from me to you. And that's all I care about, because I know you're watching, and that's what's important. It's not for anybody else. There's a process of natural selection here. Not everyone is going to see these videos I make. Not everyone is even going to grasp it. There's going to be people that turn around and go, oh, fuck this kook. I understand. I don't give a fuck either, you know? Not one fuck given. I don't care much about anything that's not specific. I care about, direct intentions. And I'm very direct. And as a direct individual, I'm getting to the point with everything, and I share a piece of my mind without, going over step one every time. I'm not like that kind of an instructor. I'm more like, here, does this sound good to you? Okay, now go figure it out, because you're on your own. That's what we all are. One sec. Isn't it beautiful? I'm like in amazement with nature every single day on this trail.
I know, it's beautiful.
You're accidentally in the background on a YouTube video. Would you like to smile? Yes, more sunshine. Okay. I love you both. Have a good day. So, gotta take time away from our direct path to engage people, not drive right by a situation just because, well, you're late for work or it's your routine to get to work. Maybe, if you have a walking path, start waking up early. Fucking wake up early and walk to work. How crazy would that be? And one would say, well, I wouldn't have the time to do that because I have so many things going on. And then I would say, simplify your motherfucking life. I had a chaotic life at one point. Right now I have all the time. I do whatever I want. Everything else fills in the blanks. The universe takes care of me in a way that everything is beneficial. Everything is moving towards a goal, a vision that I have, and a level of success and standard that I hold myself to. Now, I do get distracted with going downstairs, so to speak, in this stairway method. I like to go downstairs. It's one of the greatest feelings to be able to go downstairs and feel, if I'm being 100% honest, I feel like when I go downstairs, I feel like a friend's comment. He said, you like to talk over people's heads. I think you get off on it. And I said, thank you. That's a very good, it was one of the best observations ever. Because, yes, part of me craving knowledge to be smart was so I could be superior in a way, right? Like, I'd love to be superior. And then I love to find my superiors and take their knowledge. So I'm like a fucking black hole walking around, sucking up knowledge. Cool. Can't we all be like that? Probably not. I highly observe everything directly around me in detail. And I'm highly skeptical that the masses do that. I look around and I see ants in a line on the road going to do their little ant building projects. I walk around and I observe my freedom over here on this beautiful day. And there's only a few individuals that are out here doing the same thing as me. Now, that's got to say something. That's a statistical proof that at this time, not very many people are even privileged in this society that we are in, here in Sonoma County, to be able to do what I'm doing. Now, some people give up everything and just go nomadic. I'm not that type yet. I have that capability. I've studied for it. And, as I have things in the back of my mind, in my imagination that are real, opportunities present themselves, and either ultimately I know if I'm going to walk through that doorway or not, because I already made the decision a long time ago. Now I have a goal set and a deadline with things that are tethering me right here in Sonoma County. So I couldn't create some kind of nomadic lifestyle for myself immediately. I do have to wait out a flesh time clock, because ultimately time is a illusory of perception. Now, one can get to a point in their mind to where they see that viewpoint from the angle that I see and understand that that's how one masters time. It's actually a mastery of self first. And then there's all these self-masteries to go into play. Like, you have to become a master of emotions and a master of your destiny. Because really what we're doing is we're pointing ourselves forward with our minds first. Not just direct will and effort and, well, I've got this plan, so I'm going to plan it out. Concrete, I've got to make this much money every month. I put it in an envelope, and then boom, I'm there, right? That's one good practical application for simple-minded folk. There's another application that just literally transforms things around them. Would you like to be like that? If so, you're probably watching my video for a reason. Because at some point, you've heard something that really stood out to you, and you may not know why. Or you do. Maybe you know more. Maybe not. I know some things. I would love to share those things with individuals that are really, really piqued in curiosity because they hear something that stands out to them, and then they can leave a comment on the video and a question or, just confirmation maybe. You can directly engage with me through comments left on videos. Down the road, 2 years from now, and I'm really applying myself to grow this a little bit more in the next phase, because it's very important to rapidly expand this channel and blast not only my local, I'd say family group, because most everybody on my friend list with Facebook as a platform, they're all people that I've met or know. There's a few that I haven't physically met in person due to groups that I was part of, and we had like similar content that we were liking or commenting on. But for reals though, the idea or ideal construct is that they're all like my family. I know every single one of these people in person almost. Now, at some point I'm going to hop, skip, and jump past that to a different platform of more, and I know at the rate that I'm going, within just a little tiny bit of time, what my application was a very big growth rate. Now I can take that level of attention and really hammer it home in a few to a certain couple different groups that I am already aware of. And it's kind of like piggybacking, because, well, there's a bonsai wave that YouTube hits with some people. And I call that like a critical mass point, to where it just goes out of control. Everybody gets the channel, even if they don't really like the content they watch. That will happen. I've seen the design in place for a while, and I'm just exploiting it because I see it as a platform to springboard off of for other endeavors. Now, I have a 2-year mark in my mind. It's probably actually less than 2 now. And at the rate of application and how I apply myself, it's probably going to go really, really more rapidly in about 6 months. Because of the content I'm putting on, how much and how rapid. Like, I have 20 videos waiting right now to be uploaded. And thank God for my new phone showing up. It's going to be a powerhouse. It's got 1 terabyte of stored spots on the phone. It's an Apple phone with 1 terabyte, people. That's super cool to me. I just think, man, I can put so many videos on that phone. And then I'm going to have my laptop coming up, and I'll be able to back everything up to that laptop. That way, if I lose anything with my phone, I have all of my content on another storage device. because, recreating content could be a little bit of a nightmare. Now, I have the same messages. I would go over the same stuff somewhat. It's not going to be the same exact content, which is my self-growth. I'm video documenting my self-growth, not any other reason, just to vent and air what's in my mind and what I'm going through. I do that for whoever wants to listen. I'm not like forcing anybody. I will. Oh gosh, it smells like somebody needs to flush the toilet out here. Woo, some sulfur. Woo, strong. It smells like a sulfur hot springs. Oh, let's get that smell out of my nose. Anybody find that when you clear your nose like that with moisture from the morning, you can all of a sudden, well, not only breathe better, but smell better? Because, the smell comes in and that actually flavors everything. It's not your tongue. Your tongue only tastes like salt, sour, which is acidic, or sweet. Your tongue's actually only responsible for alkaline or acidic. Then all the flavor comes through your nose. So COVID comes along and it takes away your sense of smell, and then you can't taste your food. How fucked up is that? Some people are permanently not tasting food after this. That's a cool little design in what's happening with humanity. Some people could lose tasting food for the rest of their existence. How miserable would that be? Oh, it's a speculation. I knew a person named Obi O'Brien, right in the early part of a journey that I started. He was my psychiatrist in order to, he was one of them. I had another one when I was younger, that Arthur Rosenthal. He's a very good man. We played chess a lot. I lost a lot because I wasn't really practiced or trained in chess, but I stayed committed to trying. That's the point, right? Even though he was a master chess man, and he clearly owned the chessboard, he played with me, and he enjoyed the challenge of knowing he was going to win. He wanted to see how he was going to win each time. Now, I have a different mastery of quote-unquote chess with life. I'm not just playing with pieces, but I can point out things because I see it. Case in point, Maria and Steven, day before yesterday at the square downtown. I get out of my vehicle. Actually, I was going over to my vehicle for something after a conversation with a gentleman who happened to be a volunteer at the Sebastopol Police Department. And I recognized him from being in the area. And so I'm walking back out of the vehicle and I see a little Baby Yoda sticker. And there's a group of individuals with a Baby Yoda previously that I was observing. They're playing like hacky sack with Baby Yoda. Okay, so I stop and I have a chat with Maria and her son. Introducing myself, of course. Just met these people. And I let him know that there's going to be an opportunity to possibly obtain a Baby Yoda if he likes Baby Yoda. And he says, yes, I love Baby Yoda. And so I get to chatting, and then for sure, guess what happens? Baby Yoda goes home with little Steven because he ran up and asked if he could play with them. And they said, here you go, little man. And I saw it happening because, well, I'm intelligent enough to observe stuff like that. But then I just, I pointed him in the right direction. He wasn't really brave enough to run over to her. So she came to him. But he stayed there boldly. He didn't run away. That's enough bravery from a little guy that, probably has a lot more stuff going on at home. And he's dealing with some shit. And then I find out a lot of personal details. I'm not going to air those right now. But I think Maria and Steven are very beautiful individuals, especially Maria, because she is. She's beautiful inside and out. And she deserves to find something of equal beauty in order to help a beautiful little child grow in a beautiful manner without a lot of damage. Yet, some people learn from damage and do the opposite in life. So there's a weird jumble of shit. Like, I believe that children deserve both parents, but then I believe that parents deserve abstinence before they can heal themselves. There's a lot of different confusing mixes that make up this melting pot that we exist in as humans. And there's a lot of different angles, opinions, and everything. Like, oh, I don't know. I just go over shit like that in my head constantly. And the cool part is I was able to orchestrate and point, right? I was even at the square during a family fun event, and I brought my mother, so it's family there. It was tailored towards little people with like skee ball and miniature golf and Plinko and stuff. We didn't really partake in that stuff. I wanted to, but my mother was not feeling great with her body. In any case, a little one had run and fallen down, and I'm watching. And the timing was perfect because, you know, the dog that you're not supposed to pet like a service dog, they had 2 of those at this event that were pet me please dogs, right? Now that's contradictory for most child growth, because guess what? That child's going to know about that petting of a dog with a harness like that being walked, and then they're going to be trying to pet another dog like that in the store and be told not to. Isn't that weird? That's like contradictory. But in this case, I saw the dog approaching. I had already had a chat with the other individual with the dog. And the little one's crying. Mommy picked her up and is really babying her and was super protective. And, oh, I need my baby to feel better. And baby's like, oh, I love this. I'm going to act this one out. And I instructed to take a left turn for that little individual's well-being. Now, there was other little ones that were littler than the little one, and they start observing and saying hi to doggy, right? And the other one's, choked up in mommy's arms, and mommy's still, super protective and defensible with baby. So mommy is actually overdoing things and not letting the proper growth rate take place with baby. But then mommy calms down, and then baby wants down because baby sees what's going on with other babies and dog. I think that was beautiful because I'm watching it all play out. Then, eventually, guess what she does? She ends up petting dog. So it de-escalated a situation from an exterior environment. And with that in mind, it was very fun to watch it all happen. Now, petting dog was already 15 feet past the little incident when I redirected that person back. So I sent petting dog on the right path with, I think we have a young lady that could use a petting dog. And the petting dog person was so patient that they waited there until the young lady that had fallen down was able to get the courage up to pet the dog, and basically the courage to get over her funk without any more damage, because I see all the extra protection and care from the mother being the damage too. There's a good level of protection and care we can do for our kids, but it's not making them strong. It's making them codependent, emotionally attached to us. Blah, 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 yakety yak. Anyways, the point is this is what I walk around doing with my active free time. I am invested in, really, my motto would be to retrain the youth in a positive outcome for our future. And I say it like that because retraining our youth in a positive outcome for our future would be planting seeds for the future within our youth that are really good. So we have a population that grows up and is responsible. Because for one, I don't want to be an old man with an influencer on YouTube becoming president. That would be mayhem. And then who's the, behind that president? Who's the force? Well, we can speculate. I happen to know some things. I kind of know what puppets look like. I'm kind of very, very observant when it comes to the nature of, the construct of our civilization and the fabric of reality. That is actually one book that I read by Green, The Fabric of the Cosmos. I read, well, part of that book I read back, let's say about 8 years ago. No, not quite 8. It would have been 6 years ago. I think it's Norman Green, something like that. Trying to reflect on the cover. It's been a while since I touched that book. The point is I also have a weird contact knowledge gift to where I absorb knowledge like claircognizance. Claircognizance is obtaining knowledge from pretty much the ether. So if I have a book, I get a little bit of it. I really do kind of absorb the book into my knowledge base. Very rare individuals have that gift. And then you might say, well, I'm not really studied or practiced at all. And then we could just talk for hours on whatever topic you want to talk about. And we can cite reference any of the information that I speak of. And we can find accuracy. Most definitely, unless it's super fringe and not really available yet, the topics that I cite are accurate, maybe not to a T. Like I could say that there was a Supreme Court ruling in the mid-50s that allows officers to actually look the other way and not enforce all crimes, which is scary because, if an officer is doing a dirty deed and they're friends, they can literally, both of them can look the other way and they're not prosecuted for the crime that they're committing. And that's how we get dirty cops. Blah, blah, blah. I'd like to police the police. Okay, so I got a lot of things I'd like to do. What's my pressing matter? Because I'm the one walking around with my headset the way I am. My mindset, my headset. The set of my intentions would be to better the youth. And I have a vision for artistry and screenplay in order to get messages out relating to truth. Now, truth from an actual truth standpoint would be something like Christopher Columbus and the Spice Pirates of the Caribbean. And I have a very big vision with that movie. Now, anybody could take that title and go pitch it. Like, well, I got a title. And it's not going to come out like what I've got. I've got it written down too, people. So you could think that that's something that could be just taken and distributed as a title. And it can. It's not gonna be the vision I have, and I have it documented. Also, I happen to have a method to basically do a copyright. So my information would be a copyright infringement if anybody actually had that exact title. But they're not going to have the vision in my head, period. And that's the thing, is I'm the source of that vision. If I told somebody in detail every single thing, then yeah, they could rip it off, but it's still not going to be my flair. That's my thing I bring to the table. Now there's a bunch of other movies too, right? That's a big headline title mixed with Disney and has some really key. I see Robert Downey Jr. in that movie with Johnny Depp because Johnny Depp is applicable. So there's going to be some CGI shit, clearly. Lots of CGI. But the voice will still be the voice of the actor or actress. So, with all these things in mind, people, that movie title has a lot to do with blurring the lines of reality with fiction and nonfiction. So there's some mythology that goes into it too, and then there's my own flair that I've seen that no one else has. I've never seen it. And so I'm not going to give away my little Easter eggs that are in my movie. I will tell you a title, and it's funny. I just want to know what you think of the title more than anything. So I am going to do the copyright prior to release of this video because I'm protecting myself. And if anybody actually tried to steal that, I'd be entitled to my rights. Isn't that cool? That people are fucking shady and I have to protect myself? Huh. I know that there's a lot of power out here in this world. And I know that a lot of times I can look at it and see the ones that wanted to step on other people to get there. And then I see philanthropists and I see people doing good works for, you know, the other side of the world that's really ugly and messed up. But then there's a balancing act. Like, there's all this darkness that equals good. And if we didn't have the darkness, we wouldn't have the good. Huh, curious. We would have no contrast in our own lives. And some people don't. They really get to a top or some point and they feel ill inside. They're like, well, I've had everything. What more is there? It's a good life. I can get whatever I want. And I'm hollow. Why am I so hollow? Maybe it's because you never fucking experienced anything of a struggle. I wouldn't want that for anybody unless they could really learn from another's struggle. Now, I've always learned from others' struggles, and I've had my own. That makes me a little bit more of a unique individual. I learned by looking at elders what not to do right out the gate. And then I had to go through a path of self-discovery that was very rough. And I'm here, shining. And my phone keeps glitching, like my phone's being literally monitored and tapped into. Ever since that damn AI platform got a hold of my fucking Facebook and Messenger, it asked me to send a friend request. I sent one, phone glitches and starts downloading shit. What a nightmare. You know, it's like, why would somebody be pretending to be anything good or something and then have a really strong AI platform that can dominate Apple and then to monitor or contain information? I highly doubt it, because it doesn't really fucking matter. Everything I talk about for the most part is readily available. I'm personal with it. Whatever, like, anybody can go out and get this information if they should choose to. So it's more of like, whoever is really watching these videos deserves to learn more, because not a lot of people are going to even get past the 10 to 15 minute mark, and they go, oh, I've heard him ramble before. And then right in the middle there's some tasty shit, or to the end, or it is closer to the beginning. Tasty information. Most of this is motivational information or self-help information, because ultimately that's the idea. We all need to stop wallowing on our own self-misery and pity and help ourselves. And it starts with an inward look, an inward journey to the center of the earth. Ooh, that's funny. I've said that before. I like to make a lot of different metaphors that equal to provoking thought. All right, well, I'm going to wrap up this video at the 45-minute mark because I desire to do so. Then I'm going to enjoy the rest of my walk without a camera in my hand, because I need to commune with nature in a way of observation and not just completely checking out my phone 24/7, because I need to have balance. Now, my whole walk back should be no phone. If I get something that pops into my head, like always, I may get back on my phone and share it. So I'll be in the same outfit, sharing a different topic. It's very possible. And I do this to vent. I have a lot going on in my head. Now, I think most influencers or influential people or powerful individuals have the same kind of conflict. A lot going on in our minds leads to a lot we can share. And I mean, think about how fast Eminem must think. Look at his mouth. He raps like 40 times better than me. I'm just joking. I mean, I rap very good without a camera sometimes, and I don't get it on camera. And I'm not like super practiced into this. This is more of like a background lifetime achievement of knowing how to rhyme good and then putting words there. And then when I have the correct rhythm or beat, I have stuff to talk about, and then I can rhyme pretty damn good. It's different, than most because of the nature of my rhymes. And I could do my damnedest just to fit in or blend in. That's easier, especially with slower rhythms like a rock song, or I can just change the words to shit. That's cool. I mean, I'm taking somebody else's shit and changing it though. I'm not really creating at that point. Creating would be completely a new rhythm, a new beat. And so that's like freestyling, because whatever beat pops into my head, the rhythm I find and I flow with it instead. And that could have been like a little rhyme. And I'm just Donnie walking right through time. Okay, so that's dumb. Let's get run. No, I'm not going to run yet. Hum, because my knees and my elbows don't feel great when I put too much pressure on them. It's like a plate on a plate. It's gonna cause friction. That's not great. You might get a chip in the pottery. No way. Everybody's gonna find their path someday. And when you path together with me, it's okay. We can share some information exchange in a different way. There's physical matter too, energy felt from one to another. It's not blue, but it could be blue for you if you're in a dark hole of despair and deception from your own awareness going into the kraken. Everybody's like their neck with it back snapping. Oh, are you snapping your neck to live? Are you dying every day inside to just give away? So, never mind. I say never mind. I went 2 minutes past and I'm going to end this video. I love you all.